In this flow class, we're going to start off really slow, really relaxed, and take some time to set an intent. If you've got a bolster pillow, one of those big pillows, usually a little bit heavy, grab that. If you don't have that, grab a pillow. That'll work really well, especially if it's nice and firm, so we can use that in some of the poses later on. Let's get started. To start off practice today, lie down. Once you're down on your back, you can either have the legs straight away from you, arms relaxed down by your sides, or feet flat, allowing your lower back to melt down into the ground. Bring the arms down by your sides and take any little movements here to help you feel more comfortable. Anything that helps you release the tension of the day. Close your eyes and allow yourself to guide your senses inwards. And start by deepening your breath. So ideally, doing an inhale for a count of 5 and an exhale for a count of 6. And let that absorb your attention. Bring your hands onto your abdomen. Take one hand nearer the upper abdomen, one hand nearer the lower abdomen. Inhale to feel the breath starting from the lower abdomen to upper abdomen, then chest. Exhale, feel for chest coming downwards, upper abdomen, then lower abdomen. Inhale, feel lower abdomen rise, upper abdomen, chest. Exhale, chest is lowering, upper abdomen, lower abdomen. Repeat this 2 more times. As you breathe in this way, I want you to really start to tune into the words of the intent for practice. Your intent for practice is to breathe into the breath-starved parts of yourself. So you might find as you're doing deep breathing that maybe the shoulders, the back, the chest, the abdomen feel really rigid and tight when you take that full breath in. Maybe you can do your poses in a way that sends your breath there. Or even just being aware of how, with a deep and controlled, focused breath, you can move your breath really thoroughly and completely into some of these parts. Return to more of a steady breath, inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 6. Letting the abdomen move freely, and then bring your knees into your chest. If it's more comfortable for your hips, take the knees wide. As you do this, take care that the pelvis isn't curling up from the mat. Instead, do the opposite. Try to stick your butt out, pressing your pelvis right down into the ground. If you've got your knees into your chest, breathe in a way that creates contact between your abdomen and your thighs. If you've got your knees wide, it won't have the same effect, but still a useful guidance for your breathing, changing the pressure in the abdominal cavity. Maybe this is one of the areas that, especially if you've been sitting down a lot, that hasn't had much access or movement. Take the legs straight up towards the ceiling and just simply start to make circles with your ankles. So it doesn't matter whether the ankles are both going in the same direction or opposite directions, but aim to make the circle as complete and as full as possible. Then switch to them the other way. If your hamstrings are tight, simply do this with your legs a little bit bent. There's no need to aggregate your hamstrings and your lower back. Then begin to alternate flexing and pointing one foot and then the other. warming up to your ankles, your calves, helping to prepare your knees for moving practice. We'll be starting real gentle, like I said. From here, set your feet down. Sense with your feet, and ideally if you can do this eyes closed, great. Take your feet mat distance. You should be able to feel with your toes that your feet are mat distance. And move them at least a foot away from you. Now the spacing here isn't necessarily limited or strict to 1 foot. When your knees go to the side, if you feel stuck, simply take the feet further away from your pelvis. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send both knees to the left. As the knees go to the left, the right buttock will lift off of the floor. Allow the arms to relax. Inhale, bring your knees up through center. Exhale, send your knees to the right. Left hip lifts. Inhale, bring the knees up through center. Exhale, send knees left. So let your back move, your abdomen move. Inhale, lift the knees back up through the middle. Exhale, send the knees to the right. Inhale, knees through center. Exhale, send knees left. Now pause here. If it's comfortable enough to do so, lift the left foot and cross it over your right thigh. Let the weight of the left leg provide a wee bit of traction out of that right thigh. If your clothing isn't too slippery, you can use that foot to draw the right thigh bone away from the pelvis. I really like to feel for the hips articulating here. Begin to do an action of tucking your tailbone and then tilting your pelvis. This action is going to get your hips starting to lubricate and move in a very gentle way. Also going to change where you're feeling the stretch. And especially from one person with a very sensitive lower back potentially to another, I find this strategy very useful at the start of a practice. Release the left leg down if you had it there. Inhale to bring the knees back through center. Exhale, send the knees over to the right. If it's comfortable enough to do so, cross that right foot over the left thigh, letting the weight of the leg add additional pressure. Perhaps feeling how the right foot can draw the thigh bone away from pelvis. Wash your breath into your lower abdomen. If you're not sure how to do that, put your hands on your lower abdomen, just like we did in the pranayama, and inhale in a way that gets your lower abdomen moving. Begin to do a little bit of tuck tailbone and tilt pelvis whilst doing a steady breath. So already there's a lot of things occupying your attention. Maybe moving into some of these breath style places in the lower back, the front of the hips. Release the right foot down if you had it lifted. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center. Feet are staying mat distance. Turn your feet out about 45 degrees and then open the knees wide. So it's like horse on the back. Take your hands onto the uppermost part of your thighs and press with the hands. Use this to affect a back traction. Inhale, stretch your rib cage towards the back of the mat. Exhale completely through the mouth for Uddiyana. So when you do the exhale, hold the breath and let the diaphragm scoop up when empty. Release the abdomen, take a deep breath in. One more like that. Exhale through the mouth. Hold your breath. Stretch ribs and diaphragm towards the back of your mat. Release the abdomen. Use your hands to bring the knees in. Set the feet so they're about hip distance apart and parallel. Ideally close enough to you that you can reach your arms down to touch your feet. Draw your shoulders down and away from your ears, palms face up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press into your feet, tuck tailbone and lift pelvis up. Once your pelvis is lifted, very slightly feel for tucking the chin to help lengthen the back of the neck. Inhale, scoop your ribcage towards the back of your yoga mat. Exhale, point your sit bones towards the front of the room. So not necessarily tucking tailbone under, but still doing an articulation in pelvis, tucking the tailbone towards the back of your knees. Inhale, drive down into the heels and the ball of the foot, toes lifting and spreading. Exhale, maintain that press down, but begin to feel for squeezing your heels towards your head. You should be able to test with your hands that the low buttock muscles, hamstrings are starting to fire up. Charge your inner thighs towards one another. So as if you were squeezing a block there. If you've got a block, you can totally do that. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower down through your shoulders, mid-back, low back, and then set the pelvis down. Interlace your fingers and take them behind your head. Bring your knees up so your knees are directly above your pelvis, feet flexing, and then take the knees wide. This is called frog lifting through. Knees are in line with hips, shins parallel to the floor. Lift the head and the shoulders up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curl your tailbone up, pull abdomen down. Inhale, undo the curl and tailbone, press down through pelvis. Exhale, curl, tailbone up, head and shoulders are lifting, pull abdomen down. Inhale, relax the tucking tailbone, feet are pointing downwards. Exhale, curl, tailbone up, curl head and shoulders up, pull abdomen down. Inhale, relax the tucking tailbone, press down through pelvis. Exhale, curl, tailbone up, reach thighs away from pelvis, belly down. Inhale, lower your head about 1 inch. Now you can stay here, or if you wish this to be a little bit more spicy, straighten the legs, getting ready for straddle lifting through. Inhale, press down through pelvis. Exhale, curl the tailbone up, lift head and shoulders up, underarms lift up towards the ceiling, pull abdomen down. Inhale, undo the curl and tailbone, head and shoulders lower 1 inch. Exhale, curl, tailbone up, lift head and shoulders up, pull abdomen down. Inhale, uncurl tailbone, head and shoulders lower about 1 inch. Exhale, curl, tailbone up, lift the head and shoulders up the inch you took them down, reach thighs away from pelvis, pull belly down. Inhale, lay your head down. Use your hands to assist the legs back in and go for legs straight up towards the ceiling. Actively spread the toes, curl the head and shoulders up, hands are clasped behind the head. You are going to be doing an inhale, tucking the tailbone up 2 times, exhaling and tucking the tailbone up 2 times. Inhale, tuck, tuck. Exhale, tuck, tuck. So it's like some kind of awful abdominal waltz. Deep breath in, tuck tailbone up 2 times. Exhale, tuck tailbone up 2 times. Repeat this. Inhale, tuck, tuck. Exhale, tuck, tuck. Inhale, tuck, tuck. Exhale, tuck, tuck. Set your feet down to the floor and then release your head down. From this place, lift up more to your tiptoes and reach the arms towards the back of your mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring the knees up so the knees are above your hips and reach the arms straight up towards the ceiling. With the arms up towards the ceiling, you can either stay here, or if you want to work this in a stronger way, lift your head and shoulders up. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach the left arm overhead, right leg lengthens. Inhale, bring that back. Exhale, reach right arm overhead, left leg lengthens. Inhale, bring that back. Exhale, left arm overhead, right leg straightens. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, right arm overhead, left leg extends. Inhale, back. Exhale, left arm overhead, right leg reaches. Inhale, bring that back. Exhale, right hand overhead, left leg reaches. Inhale, bring it back. Now, you can do this head down, the next piece, or head and shoulders up. If it feels too strong, repeat the single leg, single arm, so that contralateral movement. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach the legs forwards, reach the arms back. Inhale, bring arms and legs back. Exhale, reach arms and legs away. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, reach your arms and legs. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, reach. Inhale, return. Last one. Exhale, reach. Inhale, return, head goes down. Draw the knees in toward your chest. So knees can either be together or knees wide. Press pelvis down, press down through the back of your skull. Feel for that creating a lengthening effect on the back of your neck. Left leg stays where it is. Straighten the right leg towards the front of your yoga mat. Inhale, press the left shin up against your left arm. Exhale, ease the leg in as the right thigh bone reaches towards the front of the room. Laying down spinal twist. Right hand holds that left knee. Exhale, carry that left leg over to the right, making sure pelvis is moving. Left arm reaches out to the left, or bending the arm if that's more comfortable for the shoulder. Shoulder injured, you may find left arm resting down alongside your waist is more comfortable. I find occasionally right side of pelvis gets uncomfortable. If you move that over to the left about an inch, it might change your positioning and make the twist a little bit more effective for the low to mid back range. Switch deep breathing on. Return to that sensation of moving your breath into some of the parts that frequently are starved of it. So maybe there are places around your mid-ribs that just don't quite get that full range of expansion yet. Inhale, bring the left leg back in through center, but stack your left knee above your left hip. Brace your right hand on your right thigh. Exhale, open your left knee out to the left for half frog. Use your left hand to hold the knee so the foot doesn't tap down, and work actively with that left foot. If you feel like your back needs more support, go ahead and plant your right foot and see if that helps you level out through your pelvis. The left hand is staying outside that left leg. Inhale, bring the knee in, but bring the knee towards your left underarm for a half dead bug. Left hand is going to the inside of the thigh, to the outside of the foot, and sending the foot up. If you know that this is a pose that frequently gets maybe dramatized, this is basically just lunge pose but lying down. So if you think about the positioning, if you flipped it round, it would be lunge. Inhale, press your left foot up into your left hand. Exhale, pull down and reach actively with your right foot. Right heel is pinning to the floor to do a lever action reach with the right toes. If your back needs some more support or it's tricky to get a hold of the foot, put your right foot flat, press down through pelvis. Release the left leg and straighten the left leg towards the front of your mat. Knee to chest. Exhale, bring the right knee in. Use your hands to ease the leg in towards your ribs. Maybe the knee is a little bit out to the side. Actively reach the left foot towards the front of the room. Deep breath in. Exhale, twist that right leg over to the left. Left hand is easing the carriage of the leg. Right arm is going out to the side, perhaps bent 90 degrees, maybe straight overhead or down by your waist, whatever feels more comfortable for your shoulder. If you need to reset your pelvis, pick it up and move it an inch to the right. And see if that changes not only where the weight is, but also changes the angle of entry for the pose. Deepen your breath. Breathe in a way that moves your abdomen freely, and almost feeling for bearing down into the lower abdomen, just like we did in the pranayama. Inhale, bring that right leg back into center. Half frog. Stack the right knee above your pelvis, shin parallel to the floor. Left hand blocks the left thigh so the sacrum stays level. Exhale, open that right knee out to the right, using the right hand to help hold onto the thigh, simply so it doesn't clunk down to the floor. If your foot is on the floor, guaranteed, left side of pelvis is probably lifted up from the yoga mat. If that's happened, go ahead, allow it to go back down. If your knee is starting to coast up towards your belly button, move the knee a little bit closer to the front of the room, recalling what we did in frog lifting through. Half dead bug. Use your right hand outside the right thigh, bring the knee in towards the chest. Exhale, right hand comes to the inside of the leg, to hold on to the outside aspect of the foot. Inhale, press your foot up into your hand. Exhale, pull down with your hand and feel for actively widening the right thigh whilst pushing the foot up. Left foot is reaching towards the front of the room. Inhale, press down to your pelvis, to the back of the skull. Exhale, tuck the chin a little bit to help lengthen out through the back of the neck. Left leg is doing that active reach. Dead bug. Exhale, bring your left knee in to match the right. Take that left hand to hold on from the inside of the leg but the outside of the foot. Frequently I see a lot of pelvises curling up from the floor here. Press down through your pelvis. Tuck the chin and press down through the back of your neck. If you feel like your head is really off the floor and your chin is poking up, you can always fold up your mat or put a blanket or a pillow under there. Something that helps you get the support from the neck so you can breathe steadily without feeling uncomfortable. So now that you've done abdominals and twists, a lot of hips, start breathing a little bit deeper. You're warming up, your joints are moving, diaphragm is warming. Breathe deeper. Breathe in a more comprehensive way. This next part, you can definitely choose not to do it if you feel very tight. I quite like this as a bonus abdominal. Exhale, push your feet into your hands, pull your hands into your feet and curl head and shoulders up. Aiming not to change the angle of the legs, but simply to create the upper abdominal contraction. Lay your head down. Bring the knees in towards your chest, holding either onto the shins, maybe the wrists, maybe the elbows. Press down through pelvis. Exhale, curl your head and shoulders up, pressing down through your pelvis and sacrum. And then reach the arms towards the front of your mat. Shoot the legs out at about a 45-degree angle. Deep breath in. Exhale as the legs come down and torso comes up. So coming into a more opened out boat position. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, piking up, cross the ankles and come to all fours. You may need to use your hands to help with that. Go for hands underneath the shoulders, but turn your fingers in towards one another. If this feels like it's a lot on the wrist, you can always sit this back a little bit more. Deep breath in. Lift the head up. Exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades straight back. Inhale, lift up between the shoulder blades. Exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades straight back. Inhale, lift up between your shoulder blades. Exhale, squeeze them back. Inhale, lift and spread. So really warming up into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulder blades back. Inhale, lift. Take the hands back to shoulder distance. This next thing is a little bit odd. I find it really marvelous for getting into trapezius and underarm region. Take your left elbow down, so is where your left hand was. Put the left palm onto the left side of your head, but then take the elbow forwards about another 6 inches. Drift your chest down. Allow your underarms to come down, coming down onto the right forearm. Focus on getting your left hand above your left elbow as you shift your hips back and the left armpit down. If it feels too strong for the neck, you can always brace with that right hand to keep the forearm going straight up and down, perpendicular to the floor as you move your chest down and your armpit down. Or you can just playfully nudge it like a pup trying to get attention from your hand. Inhale, bring yourself up. Trading elbows. Right hand is going onto the side of the head. Right elbow goes forwards about 6 inches and then start to lean back. So thinking pelvis is coming down. Nope. Underarms are coming down. Pelvis is moving back. There's the instruction. If it's uncomfortable, you can use your left hand to brace the right forearm and send the armpit down towards the ground with the head down, or nudging the arm with your head just to keep the steering correct. The deeper your breath, the more you're going to get into these underarm regions, the more space you'll create. Inhale to release the arms. Bring the hands under the shoulders. In this position, lift your head but slightly tuck your chin to lengthen the back of the neck. Point your sit bones towards the back of the room and draw the abdomen away from the floor. Press down through the tops of your feet. Deep breath in. Exhale, shift your hips back and feel for pointing your butt towards the back of the room without the tailbone tucking down. Inhale, shift forwards. Exhale, glide back. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, glide back. Inhale, forwards. Moving into a variation of the thread the needle twist. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, take the left arm underneath your right, setting the left shoulder down onto the ground. Take the right hand overhead, so it's going towards the upper right corner of the mat. And then whilst applying pressure down through your left hand, begin to walk that hand over to the left side of the mat. Turn your chest up towards the ceiling, but without craning the neck. Switch on deep breathing. Shift a bit more weight into your right knee, so the pelvis feels level. Now if you feel like you're melting into the pose, make this more active. Left arm is bearing outwards, right hand is pressing down to help turn the right armpit towards the floor. To come out, bring that right hand back alongside your face. Press into the right palm to lift the chest back up. A couple of rounds of cat. Inhale, lift the skull, lift the sit bones, mid back is lowering down. Exhale, tuck tailbone down, round into the back. Push with your hands. Inhale, scoop the chest the other way. Chest is going forwards, shoulder blades squeeze back, sit bones lift. Exhale, tuck tailbone down, round into the back. Inhale to relax that. Threading the needle on the other side. Exhale, bring the right arm down underneath your left. Left hand then traverses towards the upper left corner of the mat, then crisscrosses over towards the upper right hand side. Shift the weight in towards your left knee. Instead of this being soft and wilted, inhale to feel for increasing the space between the two arms. Inhale, bring the left hand back alongside your face, press into the palm, coming back up through center. Sit back onto your heels. If you're kneeling, is it comfortable? Do cross-legged. Doing a round of shoulder shrugs. Take a deep breath in, head is up. Hold your breath. Bring your shoulders straight up, straight back, squeeze them. Exhale, pull your shoulders and shoulder blades down. Inhale, spread into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze middle part of shoulders back, squeeze a lot, drag shoulders down. Inhale, spread into the back, palms face up. Exhale, squeeze shoulder blades and elbows towards each other, pull shoulders down. Inhale, relax the arms. Hold your breath, bring shoulders up, straight back, squeeze them. Exhale, pull the shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale, spread into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze middle part of shoulders back, squeeze a lot, drag shoulders down. Inhale, spread into the back, this time palms face up. Exhale, squeeze shoulders and then elbows towards each other, pull shoulders down. Inhale to relax your arms. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Bring the elbows up so your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Deep breath in. Exhale, slide your shoulder blades down. Inhale, reach the elbows and the forearms forwards, feeling your upper back spread. Maintain this. Come down onto your elbows. Take the knees back so they're underneath your pelvis rather than your abdomen. Do the same bearing down into the elbows. Relax the neck. Dolphin. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees up. Inhale, lift up to your tiptoes, bend the knees and point your butt upwards. Exhale, glide the heels downwards. Inhale, lift up to tiptoes. Exhale, slide the heels down. Inhale, lift up to tiptoes. Exhale, press heels down. Achilles Lengthener. Inhale, step your left foot onto your right heel and draw down on the heel. Inhale, lift your toe tips. Exhale, press the right heel down towards the mat. Inhale, release that left foot down. Exhale, step the right heel onto the left, draw down on that. Inhale, lift the left toe tips. Exhale, slide that left heel down as you apply pressure down with your forearms. Inhale, set the feet down. Exhale, set your knees down. From this position, take your elbows forwards a couple of inches so the hands are at the front of your mat. Send the legs back and then lower down onto your abdomen and pelvis. Once down, aim to get your elbows under your shoulders, and instead of slumping, push down into the ground, similar to what you did in Dolphin. Effect a pulling action with your arms to help pull your chest forwards and slide the shoulder blades back. Tuck the chin to help lengthen up through the back of the neck. Bring the feet together, but have the tops of the feet down. If it's uncomfortable in the feet, do it with toes tucked. Deep breath in. Exhale, initiate by tucking your chin, curling into the upper abdomen, lower abdomen, and lift pelvis. Inhale, lower, come back into this Cobra. Exhale, round into the back, press into your arms. Inhale, lower, chest scoops forwards. Exhale, lift pelvis. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This time, take your hands so they're wider than your yoga mat. Do a quick push with your hands. You should feel the weight kind of shifts towards your abdomen, your pelvis. Do the opposite. Pull with them so you feel you're being pulled forwards on your yoga mat. Lift the head but tuck the chin. Maintain that pull and then hover your hands from the mat. This should give you a good feel for where your active Cobra is. Inhale, lift chest, push down into your feet. Exhale, tuck your tailbone towards your heels, squeeze shoulder blades back. Downward facing dog. Exhale, bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck the toes, either going through all fours or pressing straight up and back. Look in between your hands. Inhale to start to walk your feet forwards towards your hands. It doesn't need to be elegant by any means. Forward bend. Exhale, hang down over your legs and relax your neck. Now consider as we move through this sun salutation with variations, all the work that you did on your back to get into your hips, twists, these will be replicated with what we're doing. Shift the weight towards your heels, look forwards as you bend the legs. Inhale, take the chest forwards and up as you come up, arms lift up. Exhale, bring hands together at chest. Inhale, take the arms wide, lift the chest up. Forward bend, exhale. Hands come down, knees can bend. Half lift, inhale, scoop the chest forwards, thinking about this happening more in the upper back than just your neck. Plank, exhale, step your feet back and push the floor away. Look forwards, use your feet to hinge forwards. Exhale, bend the elbows, elbows above wrists as you lower. Cobra, inhale, lift your chest, lift your hands. Downward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your knees up. Have a look in between your hands. You are going to be lunging to step your left foot forwards. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Begin to carry the leg towards your hands. Lift as high onto your right tiptoes as possible. Stick your butt up towards the ceiling, and that left foot should glide down in between your hands. Set the right knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, stay here, tuck tailbone down and lower into the legs. Plank. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step that left foot back, reversing the process of stepping forwards. Exhale, bend the elbows. Hover Cobra. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands. Hands can be down if your back needs more support. Downward facing dog. Exhale, tuck toes, lift knees. Have a look in between your hands. Lunge. Exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest. Lift high on the left toes, push into the ground, and step that foot through between your hands. Left knee goes down. Inhale, bring the arms up. Stretch the ribcage up away from the ground, push into both feet. Tailbone tucks down. Plank. Exhale, hands come down. Step the feet back. Bend elbows and lower down. Hover Cobra. Inhale, lift chest, lift hands, maybe lift legs. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Look in between your hands. Now this time, both feet are getting there. Inhale to either step, or you can lightly hop your feet to your hands, or take one big step followed by the other. This goes straight into the half lift. Forward bend. Exhale. Inhale, scoot your chest forwards as you lift using your legs. Exhale, hands together at chest. Inhale, bring the arms up, lift chest up. Forward bend. Exhale. Half lift. Inhale, lengthen the ribcage forwards. Plank. Exhale to step or hop back. Bend elbows through chaturanga, shoulders away from the ears. Cobra. Inhale, lift the chest. Hands can be down. If you enjoyed Hover Cobra, then repeat it. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Have a look in between your hands. Deep breath in. Exhale. Bring that left foot through in between your hands. This time, have your right knee lifted. Right toes tucked. Right hand is down. Inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Instead of allowing the right side of your pelvis to dip, actively lift your right thigh bone and draw the left sit bone down. Take your left hand onto your lower back. If it feels like your lower back is rounded, do the action of sticking your butt out, similar to what we did in the poses on the ground. Left arm reaches up. So I'm a big fan in my classes of revisiting sensations. So we've done this pose already. So think laying down a spinal twist as you're moving. Think knee to chest as lunge. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring that left hand down. Lift really high on your right toes. Begin to tuck your chin. Lift the left foot and step it without making a dragging sound. That's a challenge. Chaturanga. Exhale. Cobra. Inhale, lengthen the chest forwards. Pull with the arms. Tuck tailbone. Press the feet down. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Twisting lunge. Inhale. Bring the right foot through in between your hands. So aiming to still get that discipline of stepping through without popping your wrist up. Left hand is down. Inhale, drive your left thigh bone up. Right sit bone is coming down. Exhale, turn your chest to the right. Now aim to have the arms in line with your collarbones rather than making it look like you've gone really far by taking the right arm very far. Actively reach with the arms and turn your torso, but also without moving into the very flexible parts in your lower back. Level your sacrum. Right sit bone draws down, left sit bone lifts up, and then stick your butt out. Switch on deep breathing. Focus on where your breath can move into in these poses, especially as they go deeper and we hold them for longer. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring that right hand down, lift high on the left toes, pull the foot and step it back. Chaturanga. Exhale. Cobra, or if you feel like it's graduation time to upward facing dog, to up dog, which is thighs and pelvis lifted. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Look in between your hands. Inhale to step or hop your feet to your hands, lengthen the chest forwards. Forward bend. Exhale. Inhale, take the arms wide, stand using your feet and your legs to get that lift. Exhale, hands together at chest. Inhale, reach up. Forward bend. Exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen the ribcage forwards. Plank. Now either step, or if you're feeling optimistic, bend your knees low. Have a look at where your shoulders are. Ideally they're a bit in front of your wrists. Hop it back without changing where your shoulders are. Chaturanga. Exhale. Cobra or up dog. Inhale, lift the chest, pressing through the feet. Downwards facing dog. Exhale. Look in between your hands. Lunge. Inhale, step the left foot through. Now this time, what you're going to do is turn your left foot out 90 degrees. That might be shy of that for now. Take your right hand forwards, so it's about a foot in front of your right shoulder, and then flip onto the right pinky edge of the foot without allowing your knee to buckle. Turn your pelvis towards the left side of your mat and reach actively up with that left arm. Inhale, drive down into your right arm as you lift the pelvis. Exhale, move your right hip towards your left calf. So you should feel quite spicy in the left buttock muscles. Take a deep breath in here. We're moving into phase 2 of this pose. Exhale, lower your pelvis down so you create a side bend. Left arm simply relaxes down. Allow your left ribs to drape down. So right ribs to drape down towards your right arm. Head is lifted and breathing in a way that stretches into that right side low back. As your flexibility determines, you might be able to go onto the pinky edge of that left foot, maybe using your left forearm to help coax the left thigh away. Eventually, you might find that you can create enough space that you can really press that leg out. It begins to feel like Baddha Konasana with a lunge under it. Sounds like a terrible accident. Plank. Inhale, turn that left foot back forwards. Hands are down, lift high onto the right toes, step it back. Chaturanga. Exhale, bend the elbows. Cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Lunge. Inhale, right foot steps through between the hands. Turn the right foot out 90 degrees. Left hand goes forwards about a foot and then flip onto the pinky edge of that back foot. Feel for a lift action from underneath that thigh. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, spin your left hip towards your right calf without collapsing. The more you press down, the more active it is, the more you're going to get the stretch coming into the piriformis region. Left leg stays really active. So the big weight bearing part is only for a short time. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower the left hip down. So you're getting this drape, this big side bend happening in the left leg. Left leg, left ribs. Oh, it's been a long day. Right arm can do whatever it wishes. As your flexibility changes, you might feel you can press away with that right forearm, or perhaps really coaxing it. So I find it can be quite interesting to press the leg away a lot to see what your hips are happy with. Right foot is active, so that means toes are spreading. If you've got a slippy mat or a slippy floor, that might be the limiting factor here, not tight hips. Blame the floor. All right, plank. Inhale, turn that right foot forwards. Hands are coming down, left toes tucked. Step the foot back. Chaturanga. Exhale. Cobra or upward facing dog, or if you're still enjoying hover cobra, go for it. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Have a look in front of your hands. Inhale to either step or hop the feet to your hands. If you're hopping, you're thinking about your shoulders going a little bit in front of your wrists. Did you get that? Forward bend. Exhale. Inhale, take the arms wide, come all the way up towards standing. Exhale, hands come together at chest. Last one of these variations. Inhale, arms up. Forward bend. Exhale. Half lift. Inhale, lengthen the ribcage forwards and down. Chaturanga. Exhale, step or hop back, bend elbows. Cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Lunge. Inhale, bring the left foot through in between your hands. This time, walk the left foot over to the left side of your mat. Hands come to the inside, so here we have our pose that is similar to dead bug. Set the right knee down. Now, I see a lot of practitioners show depth here by allowing the right side of the pelvis to hang down. I want you to actively feel for lifting the right side of the pelvis, leveling the left sit bone with the right, which is tricky, Then take the arms forward. So maybe one hand going forwards, maybe one elbow can go down, maybe both go down. If you've got any props to hand, you can always put those under your elbows. Stronger day, tuck the right toes and lift the right knee. Now recall when we did that forearm cobra, pull with your arms to help unfurl the upper back rather than being overly flexed. Now here is another opportunity, even though there's a lot of high drama in the legs. Where can you get your breath accessing now? Get interested in that. Set the right knee down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Now, foot to the outside of the hand is usually an easier step. Think about lifting your hips up so you gain that pike action. Step the foot back. Chaturanga. Exhale. Cobra or up dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Lunge. Inhale. Right foot steps through to the hands. Then move it towards the outer aspect of the mat. Hands come to the inside. Now toes are pointing forwards in this lunge. Left knee goes down, endeavouring for hips to be level. Inhale, unfurl the chest forwards. Right hand goes forwards, maybe coming down to the elbow. Maybe left arm comes down. Strong day, lift the left knee. So for me, I find, especially with some SI joint problems, when working with the knee up, I can control better that lift through left hip and lowering to right, rather than going so deep into it that I'm really sore in my lower back the next day. Use your arms to unfurl the chest so the head is less dipped down. So if your chin is tucked and you are able to see your elbows and your pelvis, it's probably a little too flexed. Extend and unfurl. Inhale, come back up onto hands. Hands are under shoulders. Press it to the hands, lift sacrum, step that foot back. One last round of that chaturanga. Exhale, bend elbows. Cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Set your knees down. So this is where, if you've got the bolster or the pillows, that'd be really useful. Moving into pigeon. So if you've got a bolster or a pillow, set it along the front of your yoga mat. Hands are going to start really close to that. Start on all fours. Exhale, bring your left knee forwards to your left wrist, and then take the shin bone to about a 4 o'clock position if your head is 12. Right leg begins to move back. If you need to pad the right knee, do that. You can also hover it. Pull the bolster in, either to come down onto with your chest, or lay it over your shins so your abdomen gets contact. I find when the abdominals connect here and you breathe in that way, you can actually get the breath pressure in the abdomen changing the sensations around your lower back and your sides. So if you've got a pillow, that would be a good place to put that. This can also be done with a roll. So those of you that have been doing my classes for a while, the rolled up yoga mat, that can work really well. Now this pose isn't all sort of loose spaghetti. Actively press down to your left leg. The bolster is there for some support for your back, for your head and neck. It doesn't mean completely soften. Changing sides. Be patient with the props. Press to all fours. Exhale, bring the right knee towards your right wrist. Shin is going towards about an 8 o'clock position. Foot flexing. Left leg eases back. Pelvis doesn't need to be down here, so if you've been told that it must be, it doesn't really need to. Bolsters coming in, either turning it so it is parallel to the front of the mat or parallel to the sides of the mat. If you've got it down onto your abdomen, setting your head down on there, can be a good way to just deal with any of the tension points in the upper back and shoulders. Alternatively, you can go for the chin there, pressing down through the right leg. Breathe into your abdomen, so breathing in an exaggerated way to move the abdomen like we did in that full yogic breath at the start. Alright, bring yourself up from there, hands under your shoulders, pick yourself up and come back. Pull the bolster in a little bit. You're going to be sitting on this time. So come to sit on that bolster, using a pillow, same thing, or you can use a block. I like to kind of hang my butt a little bit off the back of it. Bend the knees and take the hands forward. So it's a straddle forward bend. Inhale, lift the chest forwards and up, toes point up. Exhale, hang forward. So from a positioning point of view, the legs are at a more extended angle than dead bug, but still very much in that family. Maybe coming down onto elbows. See what feels attainable for you. If it's a more flexible day and you don't need the bolster, and you come down off of that, same thing, toes are pointing up as you come forwards. That's much harder. I feel like in my personal practice, that was the thing that took absolutely the longest to emerge, was straddle mobility. It felt like it was very, very elusive. If you are sitting on the floor, you can also take the bolster under your abdomen. So this can be particularly useful for abdominal pressure. Same with a roll. If you've got a roll, put it under the abdomen. Inhale. Use your arms to come up. Do one more pose. It's done very, very supine. Come down onto your back. Coming into dead bug. Take the hands up and hold on to the outside edges of the feet. Take care, pelvis isn't curling up. Press down to your pelvis. Press down to the back of your neck. Now you can stay here, gradually working maybe 3 breaths with one leg a bit straighter, 3 breaths with the other. Or gradually feel for working both legs a little bit straighter. Now this might be where you stay. I sometimes find that my grip is the limiting factor here. If you cup your heels, you might get very different access to this. So drawing the feet down towards the floor, sacrum and pelvis are pressing down. So another way of working that straddle forward bend positioning, but also relating in the different rotations and openings that we've been working in this class. Bend the legs. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Take any little movements here, rocking the hips from side to side, arms relaxed down. Close your eyes. We're using this as our Shavasana pose for today. It's a little extra hip opening. Allow your deep breathing to fall away. Letting your resting quality breath take over. begin to deepen your breath. Bring your hands back onto your abdomen, breathing into low abdomen first, then upper abdomen. Let this occupy your attention. So breathing in a way that feels very fast, comprehensive. Moving your breath into some of those breath-starved parts. Hopefully feeling a sense of release and relief when the breath touches those parts. Use your hands outside your knees to bring your knees together. Now you've got a few breaths. Maybe you need to bring knees into your chest or any little movements. Use the next few breaths to bring yourself towards a seated position on your mat. Choose a comfortable seat and use any props that you wish to. Once you are seated, instead of pulling flesh from your sit bones, if you feel like you need that kind of reset, lift your entire butt up and put it back down again. That's usually enough. Bring back a deep breath. Acknowledge that home practice is tough. The discipline is difficult. The focus is challenging. But especially at this challenging time, is valuable. It sets a routine. It designates time for you. So thank you for taking that. Bring your hands together at chest. That which is sacred in me salutes and honors that which is sacred in you. Namaste.